Aaron Tuttle here for Ferguson Roof Systems. For 43 years, Ferguson Roof Systems has been protecting Oklahoma's homes and businesses with quality roofing services. Their goal was to be the most honest and dependable roofing company in the state, all while providing free services such as lifetime labor warranty and annual inspections. Well, mission accomplished with thousands of client testimonials, an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, and a 5-star rating on Google. Look, the weather gives you enough to worry about, so why worry about who to trust with your roof? Call Ferguson Roof Systems today or find out more at fergusonroofsystems.com.
Hey everyone, glad you're with me. Sorry, multitasking, got a lot to do here. Got some new changes I'm working on the back end. I didn't even get notified on Facebook when I went live. That's so lame, man. Lame, Facebook, lame. So that's another issue I'm constantly battling with, is when Facebook doesn't even tell me that I'm going live, which means sometimes it doesn't tell you when you're going live. So how do you fix that? Well, I'm going to tell you as soon as I load this up myself on my own device here, so I can make sure we're up and going. I'm going to post a link. By the way, thank you, Crystal, for the stars. That's awesome. Way to start my lunchtime. I like that. Let me post these links here. So in here, there are a couple of options for you. And this would solve the problem, at least in theory, right? Because Facebook always changes something. But at least it'll get you going for right now. So if you're watching this on the replay, and you're like, you had no idea, well, this will do it. All right, so there's 3 options here you just posted in the comments section. All right, so when you see that, it says join the newest one is join the Facebook weather broadcast channel. So when you do that, click on that, and then now you have to be on your phone, I think, to do it, and you have to have Facebook Messenger on your phone. So I think those are the 2 steps you have to have. If you try to do it on your computer, I don't think it's going to work for you. You can try it, but I don't think so. That's how I was able to do it. And what happens is when I go live, I put a little chat, a little comment in the group chat, and I said, hey, we're going live. And that way you get notified when you go live. Now, prior to this, I was using where it says opt-in weather updates, using a system called ManyChat. It's a third-party interface, and it also will notify you when I go live. So several hundred of you have done that as well. So it might be easier to pick the other one. That way it's all on one platform for you. But either way, it goes to your Facebook Messenger. But you can try those too. But Jared got the notification, so he's in the house. He's ready for some business. Okay, so now that record keeping is done, and also for my subscribers that are in the Facebook group page, that's the private page for everybody that supports me. You can see the link that I post in the comment section as well. So I'm posting live back on that page as well. I had to take it off a while back because I had bandwidth restrictions on the internet because Cox Communications couldn't provide me what they charged me. So I ditched them finally because AT&T fiber came in my neighborhood, and now I got unlimited bandwidth. So I'm back in business now. I can serve more of you, which is obviously the goal here. So I'm thankful for AT&T for coming in my neighborhood, and shame on you, Cox Cable, for 15 years of lame internet right in the middle of the city. So no excuse, right? All right, well, let's get on with the program, shall we? And again, there's about 4,200 members in that new broadcast AT's Weather Channel. So make sure you join in if you want to be part of that group. I'm not going to flood it. You might follow some people that do flood those things. I don't, because that's annoying, and I don't want to be annoying, and nor I'd like to be annoyed. I don't like either one of those things. Let's take a look outside. Right now, we still have some cloud cover out there to the west is where I'm looking with my AT's weather cam from the roof. And underneath those clouds, some lucky folks got some snow late last night and this morning, believe it or not. Now, if we saw any here at my house, I didn't see it because I was asleep. And I got up late this morning. I saw some sun sneaking out there. And went, well, I guess I didn't get any of the action, right? Let's see if we do have some more of that action out there. Here's a look at the radar view across the state. And we still have some light snow. The radar is detecting it out here between Canton, Watonga, Weatherford, Binger, east of Leading, east of Elk City. Just a little patch of snow that's drifting from north to south. So for eastern Oklahoma, again, don't expect a whole lot, even though there's been some reports up here, probably some flurries. Yeah, there we go. Some snow or flurries report up here northeast of Tulsa. Just squeezing out some of the moisture that's in the atmosphere. This is not going to accumulate to anything substantial, by the way. As far as anything measurable, actually it was a little measurable up along the Kansas border here across far northwest Oklahoma. So a little dusting of some snow up there, but the rest rest of it's, though, just some clouds and some occasional flurries. Now, as a result, temperatures are still pretty chilly up there. We've got some 30s across northwestern Oklahoma, low 30s at that, right around the freezing point. Otherwise, the rest of us are starting to warm up a little bit. Going to see some 40s today. It's a little warmer than it was yesterday. Now, let's take a look at the upper levels of the atmosphere. Let's look at the jet stream pattern. So the reason why we're getting a little bit of that cloudiness and snow is in the 500 millibar pattern. And that is this little wave you see right here. The brighter the color equals the more lift in the atmosphere. So this is on a back end of an upper level low that's centered across the Midwest. So the air flows counterclockwise around low. And so this little batch of lift rotates around the backside, squeezes out, like in some of the clouds and some flurries, and it zips on through here later today into tomorrow. And then what we're going to watch for is a jet stream pattern that can take some shape like this. So what happens is we'll start to get a region of high pressure develop behind it. Now what that is for us, meaning is kind of a cooler, drier flow for a little bit. You can see there's a little system there across the Great Lakes that zips through. There's one that tries to come in under the ridge. Again, this is the ridge right here. You can see a little bubble. And there's a little system that tries to come through, but it falls apart. It runs into the bottom of this ridge and it kind of eats it up. So we'll wait for the secondary one to come in, and that'll be this guy right here, and that'll zip through Oklahoma for next week. And I'll show you what happens with that here in just a second. Here's a look at the outcome, though, for the remainder of this afternoon. So if we look at here from 11 12 o'clock hour, you see a little batch of light snow that drops through and falls apart in the southern and southwestern Oklahoma, and then that's pretty much it, and then no more snow for that. Now if we look at temperatures today, obviously a little cold out there, so you did actually have to bring out your winter clothes from your closet for once. So we've got some 40s for this afternoon for daytime highs, still some 30s sneaking in some areas. And of course overnight lows might be back to below freezing in some areas. Let's zip you on down. See a lot of blue colors across the state, so 20s and 30s. So standard stuff this time of the year. Okay, so now let's go back to the upper level map so I can talk about that next system coming in from the west. All right, so let's see here. If we look out here, we'll go to the Monday time frame. So you see this little guy zipping on through. So the ridge is kind of crashed into the ridge. We kind of have a little weakening ridge right here, but this guy right here is just going to come right on through. So that'll bump that little mini ridge out of the way, and it'll squeeze out some cloud cover, a little bit of moisture. So there is some bright colors you see on the map that come in here on late Tuesday into Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. That zips on through. Now, it's not a very strong system, but it is something. So we should get a little bit of light precipitation out of it. And it will probably be the mixture of a little bit of sprinkles and some snow flurries again, at least the way it looks right now. If that changes, I'll let you know. And you see on the after that, when we have another system that tries to come in. Now this one, according to the models right now, this is for the after the first of the year, so around the 5th and 6th, you can see this little system diving into Texas. All right, so that's where the Lone Star State, quite a bit of rainfall for those folks. We're on the northern fringe right here in Oklahoma, so we might get some stuff along the Red River with this. So it would have to take a dramatic change in the track this direction versus this direction for us to get some significant rainfall and or potential, winter weather out of that if temperatures can be cold enough by then. We are going to have some interesting things changing in our forecast during that period. And once that one goes, look what out here to the west. There's another one there for the 9th, another one here coming in. Look at that big stretch of energy all the way down this region, all that lift in the atmosphere. So we still have an active part of the jet stream pattern that will be coming across Oklahoma. Now, as we head into the extent around the 12th, this is interesting here. Look, you will see, and we're going to show you why this is going to happen, but now we have this gigantic one long wave trough axis that has come through the central and now the east central part of the country and kind of holding shop. Now this is what's going to be developing of the what we call that polar vortex, which is a good boogeyman word now these days. It's always been around. It just never was named by the media to cause such bait click headlines. Clickbait headlines. But regardless, we're going to talk about that and how it's going to get colder. But meanwhile, this pattern is a colder pattern. So this jet stream pattern will help to bring in colder air in this part of Canada and drive it down into the United States. Now, where this sets up as to who sees the coldest weather, more on that here in a second. And we have more energy off the western coastline, just off this picture, that's going to zip through underneath. So we might have potential for not only cold air in place, but some winter weather as a result. So here is a look at Tuesday. I want to show you, let's see, let's back this up right here. There's Tuesday. Let's go to Tuesday during the day, in a Tuesday evening. So you see the models do try to produce a little bit of some rain and snow mixture across the state. So that's be our next system that we'll watch. All right, so now let's talk fun stuff. We're gonna take a look at what we call SSW. Sudden stratospheric warming. This is up around 16 miles up in the atmosphere. So what we're going to be focused on is, okay, you see this little blue color here? Those are temperatures below normal. These are temperatures above normal. Now where you have the above normal temperatures aloft, means way up top, you have cold temperatures below. So in other words, you have true winter, really nasty cold stuff. So you see around the far northern regions, from northern Canada to the pole, obviously it's cold there. And you have the typical stuff in Siberia, in the other side of the globe, you got the cold stuff there. And we're going to watch how this animates. We're going to see a kind of a little fun region here. You're going to watch this pattern to the north change direction and shift and come our direction. And what that spells trouble for us is a very cold spell coming into the North America region. So there you go. Look how it gets really dark red. And then it kind of moves back into, let this keep going, kind of goes here into the Canada region, Nova Scotia, and then back into the U.S. as well. You start to see those little colors dip down into this region here. So in other words, we're going to have a big pattern change that's going to bring the cold air associated with this down south. Now, later in the extended, the models are still not certain as to how the whole thing evolves. Because once you displace the polar vortex and things start to move around, you get some weird configurations. This is the elongated configuration. So what this would typically mean is a long spell of cold weather. Now, a long spell of cold weather means not only cold across the pole, but also just on this little corridor on the other side and this corridor on the other side. Well, this corridor on the other side stretches right down toward the Great Lakes. So it means we get pieces of it that dip down into the U.S., mainly the eastern 2/3 with this pattern. But again, if this thing wobbles or sets back up here in the western Canada, all that would change. And we'll show you that here in another view. So what does it kind of look like when you have that pattern aloft at the surface? So the purples and the whites are that lovely minus 30, 40, 50 degree temperatures that you would want to see here. You can see how that's kind of up here where it belongs. And you will see as it starts to get now into the continent, starts to dip down through as we head toward the first of the year. So things are starting to change. You start to see more of this cold air building and starting to sag a little bit more to the south. And then you're going to see the mother load start to unleash as we get toward the 10th and 11th and 12th of the month as that SSW event goes underway. You can see now how it's starting to dive down southward across the Rockies, now infiltrating most of the country with a lot of those blue colors, at least down into this part of the United States. So what that means is we're going to have this nice trajectory of colder air. Now, again, it depends on the exact position where it lies, is if the brunt of the cold is kind of in this trajectory as we talked about, or does it come a little bit more like this? Yesterday's models had it more in the west. Today's models have it more in the east. And they're not going to know this far out. What we do is we just see the pattern recognition. So here's another look at that polar vortex split. So we'll do this in a motion. And here's where it really starts to form in this region, in the latter part of the model runs. Now, this particular model run now has it kind of anchored. So this is right at the border here of Canada. So it's kind of anchored here in the Great Lakes region. Now, this is where it likes to set up a lot of the times, but it could easily set up here and do something like this. So again, it just depends, and wherever this kind of sets up is the brunt of the cold air kind of usually follows. So right now, in this pattern, it would be kind of more favored like this, where we get glancing blows down here, but the Northeast is, and they're in the brutal cold. They love that stuff up here. The weather guys eat this type of pattern up. I'm like, I don't want all that nonsense. But what could happen, by the 12th of the month, for example. We've got temperatures, let's see, up here in Canada, the minus 30s to minus 40s, and then we've got some readings down here. Not too terrible yet, teens, 20s, in the blue, in the white areas here from the central southern plains and the Rockies as we head to that period. Now, keep in mind that the cold weather has a little bit of a lag, and then extended. So in other words, once that pattern takes shape, the cold weather sticks around because the pattern doesn't change much. So in other words, we should have about 30 days of true winter temperatures here across the United States and North America. So here's a look at how much the models are predicting from the snow side. Now, there hadn't been a whole lot of snow the first half of I say first half of our winter. Technically, it started 7 days ago, but you know what I mean. For the winter season, which usually kicks off, for the 1st of December, we didn't have a whole lot of snow because temperatures were either at or slightly above normal. But this time around, obviously with the colder weather in place starting to take shape and some more cold fronts in here, we're going to get more lift in the atmosphere with that active jet stream. We now have the snow line kind of progressing more to the south, and obviously more snow building in these areas and in these areas and even out here in the southern Rockies. So when you see this down here, this is Arizona and New Mexico. To see snow this far south, I'm going to tell you what that means. That means you've got a very active subtropical, and maybe in a combination of a polar jet stream with the two combined. That's good if you want some snow for skiing, and that's good if you want a potential for this stuff to come right here in Oklahoma and Texas, combined with enough cold air to produce some monkey business. Now, I prefer it to be snow. Some cases you get ice with this. A lot of it just depends. And we have to take those systems week by week when that does happen. But we also see with the buildup of snowfall in this area, even into Canada, that will allow a lot of the cold air that does infiltrate in this region to not moderate so much. So without with so much snowpack on the ground, that Arctic air doesn't get a chance to moderate like it does when there's no snow at all. With the ground temperatures and also the friction, also the kind of stuff that happens by the time it gets to us, this means it comes in faster, and it also means it comes in colder. So everything's pointing to a big pattern change, an abrupt change in your style of living from shorts and t-shirts and jackets and occasional coat to just nothing but coats, gloves, mittens, all that kind of stuff. But in the meantime, temperatures aren't going to be that bad. As we head toward the end of our 2023 and into 2024, they're about where they should be. So overnight lows being the 20s and 30s over the next umpteenth nights. And then daytime highs, of course, we had it cold a little bit yesterday and today. They'll rebound a little bit more. I'm not so sure we're going to be sold on this 49 degrees. I think that's out to lunch. I think it'll be more like the lower 40s today. But we'll start to rebound quite nicely a little bit for the weekend. Another front, though, comes in just in time. We talked about it in my blog. So in this period here for Sunday, look for another cold front to come in, and as that does, that'll drop those temperatures down. So a little bit gusty for Sunday afternoon and the evening hours for New Year's. So if you will be out and about Sunday evening, you're going to have to dress up appropriately because it will be cold and a little breezy, but at least it will be dry for you. And then after that, just cold as we start the new year. All right. And there you go. I just gave you a very fun long-range weather outlook. And I say fun just because it's honestly been a little boring. You hadn't seen me much because there's really hadn't been much to talk about. Let's see. Jenny, thank you for the stars here for lunchtime. I appreciate you as well. Erica as well, thank you for the stars. Just looking on my phone to see here. Jared, as always, thank you, sir. We'll try to send some of that fun stuff down in Dallas for you. Ron, thank you very much as well. I love when you guys throw me a little love in that direction. Also, make sure you like and share this video. Make sure you've subscribed to the channel if you're on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, of course. Make sure you hit the get notified. Mary, thank you for the stars as well for this lunchtime. What else? If you missed the top of the broadcast, I have a comment section in there. I'll do it again. That way, if you were late, you can see it. So let me go to my page. And you can opt in to get the important notifications from me through the new weather channel that Facebook has created. So it's a color broadcast channel. Instagram had something similar that launched a few months ago. And I signed up for one or two. Like one of them was the Dallas Cowboys, and one of them was somebody else had a friend that we'd followed. And then there was a music artist. And the music artist, when, I don't know, they get in there and just randomly just blah. I mean, it was just a bunch of nonsense. got tired of seeing it. That's why I unfollowed the channel. So on this one, when I do post something, your Facebook Messenger will pop up with notification. So I don't want to, obviously be a bother. So you won't hear much from me on that, just so you know, because I don't want to disrupt you. I don't want to be one of those where you're getting, mute this thing or get out of it, leave the channel. So I'm going to use it for notifying when I do go live, since Facebook hardly ever tells you anymore. So obviously that's important. And then any other significant weather events you need to know about, obviously big storm, ice storm, snowstorm, something like that. If I've got a blog that's got a lot of important details you need to know, and that's about it. So that's how I plan to use it. So feel free to join, and we'll kind of take it by ear and see how it goes. Let's see. All right, I think that's it. I've got nothing else for right now. I'll watch the patterns. It'll be a little more exciting, so we'll do some updates on how cold looks like it's going to be for Oklahoma and the rest of the country. And then we'll see what looks in our future crystal ball for ice and snow here across the southern plains as we head into probably starting about the second week of January. So from that point onward is when we start to have all these things come together. And then we'll see what happens from that to about mid-February. Maybe quite busy. You may see me a lot. Hope you're ready for this. Okay, I'm out. You guys have a great rest of your Thursday. Have a happy New Year. Good New Year's Eve. Be safe and stay warm. And we'll talk soon. Take care.